you know, you can't trust this person, or they get this many viewer sales, so they can't give good advice or whatever. It kind of hurts my feelings, to be perfectly honest with you, because I've been very open about everything. I've tried to be very open about most everything. Hello everybody, welcome back to the cabin. Welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. You know, we've got a kind of an ordinary day of sales. I don't think anything over $40 plus shipping, which is pretty low for us lately. We've had a ton of sales and some high dollar sales lately, and it's been a little bit lower than usual, but that's okay. We're still having a good solid sales day headed out of here today. We've actually been doing videos because we got FlipCon coming up. Well, I don't know when you'll see this, probably maybe pretty darn close here. It's coming up pretty quick. At any rate, we'll shut the store down for a while. Actually, we're going to do a few other things as a family as well. So being able to do videos every single day this week has been cool, and we've had enough sales to do it. So there is a topic I want to talk about today that, to be honest with you, if you want to know the truth, I get pretty sensitive about this, and there's, you know, I can let a lot of criticism roll off my back, but there's one little thing that just kind of irritates me a little bit, and I don't know what to do about it, to be perfectly honest with you. And it has to do with viewer sales, and it's something I want to talk about today as we go through this, and I got to check out how many viewer sales we do have today, and a bunch of other stuff. Let's take a look. All right, and I just got to forewarn you that the kids are out here playing, so you may hear them. You may hear them a little bit during the episode. And there's one other thing that I've had a lot of people tell me is tacky for a long time, and it seems to be increasing. And I don't feel like it's tacky, but you know what? I've had enough people tell me that I'll ask you your opinion of it as well. It has to do with garage sales. This fan right here, I think I paid $10 for it. It's a Kenmore, and it's pretty cool. It's in good condition, working, and they usually sell fairly quick for decent money. This one sold for $40 plus shipping. I was at an estate sale the other day, and they had a ton of hats, and I was super excited. And there was no prices anywhere, except for up on the wall over in the corner, and I didn't see it. So I spent a lot of time looking through the hats, and only to find out they wanted $5 a piece for them. So I only ended up getting a few of them, and I just put them in here. These two were in there. Rainbow Plant Food, Jim's Warehouse, and it's in really good condition. And it is a K Products hat right there, and that is why I bought it. And that one right there, I knew we could make some money on even at that price. And it sold, I think it sold $25. Yep, $25 plus shipping on that one. Now there are some more modern K brand and K product hats, but I mean, you can tell, you can just look at that one and see it's old, and look at the tag if it's made in the USA or something like that. You're going to be much better off. I meant to say earlier, I remember my neighbor had one of these fans, and I was so intrigued by it as a little kid, the metal ones, and they always told you not to put your finger in them. Boy, how did we ever survive the 80s? One more sale and we'll ease into our topic. Let me check, make sure I got the right amount. I do. And a gift as well, and some other ones, but I think we'll just do one. Maybe we'll get a couple in here. This one's probably Cincinnati Picker Drawer. There it is. And I love selling these. They're not huge money makers, but this is Sony branded headphones, and it says MDR G42 on them, and they usually sell. And these did as well. These sold for $22 plus shipping. The next items here are going to lead us into this conversation about viewer sales, because I hear about it all the time, and I'm accused of being illegitimate and giving bad advice and things like that because I have viewer sales. So I want to kind of talk about those numbers a little bit so that nobody ever confuses what's going on here and takes stuff out of context. I think I do a pretty good job of telling that and being transparent about it, but you know, it doesn't hurt to talk about it in a much more transparent way. Scooby, I think there's two of these Scoobies right here, and these type of items have a little bit to do with it, but let me tell you about them first. We're selling, I think they're $11.95, I think is what we sell them for. Two of these sold right here. Now, neither of these have any messages at all in the messaging system or on the purchase that I see anywhere. Not repeat buyers, so my thought is that they're probably not viewer sales, but there certainly is a possibility of it. You know, we have links to the store everywhere. Those two sold, so that's what, 23 something and $11.95. Both free ship. Not huge money makers, obviously, but it is multi-quantity, which I absolutely love. Let me put this back. So I want to look at the numbers a little bit and talk about it. And I think we're shipping out 16 things today, which is we just shipped out yesterday. So that's not bad for one day. You know, a lot of times we'll ship out 20, 30 things even sometimes, because we ship 3 days a week. And, you know, sometimes there's more viewer sales than others. And I just want to look, it looks to me, I just looked over here, it looks to me that there's 3. There's 3 out of 16 that were to viewers that I know of. Now, there's always possibilities that some of these aren't. And I want to talk about the numbers and the typical numbers and the criticism that comes in, just like I said, to be transparent about it. And I don't want to give people the wrong idea out there, but I will tell you that one of the reasons, you know, I didn't take quitting my job lightly. I have a family to take care of, and, you know, a pension, retirement, all kinds of stuff like that. And when I started doing this and I started seeing viewer sales, I'm like, wow, this is unbelievable, you know, the support and whatever. And that's just an added bonus to it. And I get a little defensive because I love the community. I love getting out there, listening to people's live shows, listening to people's pre-recorded content, getting on Facebook, getting in there in these different groups and talking about reselling, because I just love it. It's a passion of mine beyond the fact that it's an income for us, all the social media aspects of it as well. I just love it. And, you know, when you're out there and you hear things and you're just casually listening while you're working or something, and, you know, you can't trust this person, or they get this many viewer sales, so they can't give good advice or whatever, it kind of hurts my feelings, to be perfectly honest with you, because I've been very open about everything. I've tried to be very open about most everything. And viewer sales is a part of what I do because it's on social media. And there are certain items like these that a great majority of the sales, I don't know about great majority, but certainly a majority of the sales for something like this that are going to go to viewers. They're lower priced items. They're things that people are just saying thank you and supporting us. Now, I don't think these are. They might be. But, you know, I sell a ton of stuff. These aren't to viewers. These aren't to viewers. I sell tons of stuff not to viewers. And I don't want to defend myself, and I don't need to, and most of you don't think I need to either. But I did want to talk about it because a lot of new people watch, and they think, oh, well, maybe, you know, look at all these sales, and they'll go out and buy things like that. For me to buy something like those, it would have to be dirt cheap, and it actually was dirt cheap, because those aren't exactly easy sellers. I'm trying to find these right here. Here's another item that I would have bought anyways, and it would have taken me till I retired to sell them. It still might, even with viewer sales, because they were cheap and they were multi-quantity, and a majority of these go to viewers. Not as much as it used to. It used to be a ton of viewers that would get these, and now it's maybe 50% of viewers, 50% not. And then, of course, the ET pins that we talk about all the time, those go a majority to viewers as well. And, you know, plush, pretty much, you know, I would say that if there's one thing that people need to be careful about is plush, because plush can make you a lot of money depending on the plush. But I would say 30 to 40% of my plush sales are to viewers. And so, you know, maybe if people watch out there and they see that, maybe you got to be a little bit more careful about stuff like that. But, you know, you don't have to be careful picking up a Punky Brewster doll. It's going to sell. Or, you know, strawberry shortcake. It'll sell. It might not sell as quick, but it'll sell. So I'm saying all this for 2 reasons, really. First is, you know, if people are watching me on the Picker channel or whatever, I want them to understand what I'm doing out there. I'm not buying stuff necessarily to sell it to viewers. However, if it's something that, you know, if there's a large group of people who watch this channel, watch the Picker channel, if it's something that they're interested in, they like, it's more than likely there's somebody else out there. And I'll say it kind of in a defensive way sometimes. I think I did it on the last episode with that robe that I sold. Keith bought it. And I was so shocked to see how many people were watching that so quickly. And I'm like, well, that's going to sell. And it sold to a viewer. It would have sold to somebody else. Don't get me wrong. I'm extremely grateful, extremely thankful. And the speed in which things sells are increased by viewers, certainly. And that's not lost on me. But, you know, on a daily basis, I've been tracking it for a while. Some days it's as low as, like, what is today? 3 out of it. So it's under 15% for today's sales. Maybe you could say one of these is to view. Maybe it's a little bit over that. I would say viewer sales are anywhere between, on a daily basis, 10%, and it's been upwards of like 40%. But on average, it's probably around 20% of the sales that we make. And I do read them because I'm grateful for the people who buy things from me, and we're going to read 3 here later today. But so far, none of these are to viewers. But it is something to think about. And I have people asking me all the time, should you start with social media so you can make more sales? I don't know. If that's the reason you're doing it, I don't think so. It takes way more time. You know, I put a ton of time into social media. I love social media as well. I love talking to y'all out there. So it's a give and a take for sure. But I think the key is transparency, and I've heard people literally say lately things like that, and they're a little bit hurtful. I try to give honest information the best I can. I make mistakes like anybody else, but I want everybody to know out there I'm extremely grateful for viewer sales. I don't take them for granted, and I try to be transparent about it. Every once in a while I miss some, by the way, and I'm sorry about that too. So at any rate, that's that. I guess people could just stop buying from me, and then I wouldn't have to, I guess I don't have to deal with it anyways. I'm a little bit sensitive. You know, I've been selling on eBay for 20 years, and I basically don't do much different than I used to. I mean, obviously we all do things differently over time, but I feel like I'm out there picking like I would 15 years ago. I don't see much difference. This is a Tony Llama wallet, and I picked it up. It was just sitting there. I was just a couple bucks or something at a sale, and I'm like, that's Tony Llama. Oh, I didn't know it. I had to look, open it up and dig and find it, but it was Tony Llama. And it took a long time to sell, and it sold on Poshmark, not on eBay, because we were cross-listing a little bit, and it sold for $30 plus shipping. Shout out to List Perfectly, code Commonwealth in the description below if you want to give it a try. All right, I had to go in and get this jacket. Who's winning?
Me? Yeah.
You're recording so they don't argue about balls and strikes?
Yeah, a bee just bit me though.
A bee just stung you.
My crop.
So this Levi's denim jacket, it is not vintage, but they're still okay money. And if you can get it for the right price, like $5, which may be what I paid, I don't know. And this one sold for $30 plus shipping. It's brand new. It's a great deal for somebody. I gotta move this chair because I gotta get up and get my Vera Bradley bin out here, and it's kind of hard. I'm gonna see if it's light enough to do with one hand now. I might have to put the camera down. Whoa, getting a little lighter. We've been selling a bunch of it lately. And Vera's not amazing, y'all. It just simply isn't amazing. However, it does okay. And this is another item. Maybe 10 to 15% are bought by viewers. This one happened to be a viewer as well. I think this is the one that sold. And this one I might have paid $2 for. That's one of the two things people say is tacky. But, you know, my audience is resellers. So it might be tacky to tell somebody who's buying it from you how much that you paid for it, I suppose. It's not going to hang up. But, you know, this is resellers and reselling content, and the buy side is just as important as the sell side. They got to match. And I think I paid $2 for this. I might have paid more than that, but it's sold for $20 plus shipping. It's a backpack. So let me know. I haven't heard too many comments on this channel about it, but I think it's part of the show. I think it's part of what you're doing as pickers out there is, you know, what did you buy the thing for, right? Because if you sell stuff, and I see people all the time on social media, like, you know, I sold, you know, $50,000 in 90 days, which is awesome. Congratulations. But what are you selling? What are your margins? Did you pay 30 for it? That's a big deal. I talk about these cards that sold for me, where I'll tell you what I made on them here pretty quick when you see the video for the second one selling here on the next episode. And the margin on that is way, way, way lower than I'm used to. And the margins on all this stuff is pretty high. So, you know, don't always be fooled when you're out there in those Facebook groups and seeing these massive totals. Those are good numbers. And I guess, you know, they tell you part of the story. But what do people pay? Are they promoting? How, you know, what are their costs doing business? What are the actual profit margins? Those are the key numbers. Almost forgot to read the comment. This is going to Joni or Johnny? I don't know. It's Vera Bradley. I'm going to say Joni. Enjoy your picker show the most. It's addictive, but saves me money because I have no need to go to garage sales since you do it for me. That's funny. Actually, 2 clips ago, I sat down for a minute and got a phone call from my buddy Eric, OBX Picker, over there on the Reseller Information Network. They're headed to the 127 and then down FlipCon. And we were talking. We always talk reselling because he's a reseller. And we were talking about curating and whatever, and he's like, you know, really what we are is we're personal shoppers. We're curating things. We're finding things for people who don't go to garage sales, who don't want to go to thrift stores, whose time is more valuable in some way, who are searching one thing. And I think that's the way that most of us think out there. It's not like you're shopping for one person, but you're shopping for somebody out there. You just don't know who that somebody is. And if you're looking at stuff out there and you're like, oh, somebody's going to want that, then probably somebody will want it. Now, the better you get at it, of course, you'll get to avoid some of the stuff that nobody wants. And you learn that over time because they sit on your shelves forever if nobody wants them. And you get better and better over the years. I sold an Aflac duck here, a football Aflac duck. It's in really good condition. I think I have a few Aflac ducks. I got to make sure this is the right one. Aflac. There you go. Aflac. That one sold for $12.99 plus shipping. I keep a lot of the bigger items inside, and this qualifies here. It is a New Wave oven dome. So I've avoided, if you watched this show years ago, you saw me sell this stuff all the time, but I've avoided these lately. The price of the domes went down a little bit. I like to part them out. The heating element itself, and these sell fairly regularly. The insides of it don't sell very quickly, so I usually don't mess around with them. And if I list one, I'll get rid of the rest until something sells, then I might add it. Even the feet underneath, it gives you a couple bucks, but when in doubt, part it out right there. And I won't buy these unless they're $5. And that's the whole thing. That way you get 2 or 3 pieces you can sell off. This one sold for $30 plus shipping. I'll get to that other tacky thing here in a second as it deals with garage sales. California bin right here. That, see, there you go. It's a viewer sale and it's a plush. So that's one thing, you know, that might be a little harder for some people to sell when we can get 20% of our sales or so, 25, maybe 30% of plush sales go to viewers. And this is going to a viewer, little Pikachu right there. It's in good shape. It sold for $13.99 plus shipping. Hi, y'all. We had to grab this Pikachu for our kids. We came across a big Pokemon game lot while picking, and our kids were hooked. Sold the games, but this is their consolation prize. Keep up the great content. We're waiting on the next history lesson video. Well, they come few and far between, but I still have a passion for history. Best wishes from Big Rod and Angela at Lonesome Oak Pickers. Thank y'all very much. I hope your kids enjoy it. I haven't been selling a lot of Tupperware lately because I haven't been listing a lot of Tupperware. I've been reducing how much I buy because my bins are full. And this doesn't empty it out very much because it's tiny. So I love to sell the measuring cups and the spoons if you can get them cheap enough. You know, I like to pay $1. So anyway, these right here sold for $13.50 plus shipping. I used to sell a lot of Starbucks mugs, and they seem to be getting harder and harder here. But every once in a while, you can find a good one. And I would have searched these out if they were higher priced, but they're not. They were $1 a piece, so I went ahead and bought them all. And there's the one that sold with the Aztec calendar on there. Aztec capital right there in Mexico City. See if I can give you a little history right there. Quetzalcoatl and all this stuff goes with it. Used to love teaching about the Maya and the Aztec and the Inca and all that. And that right there was a good one. That one sold for $20 plus shipping. So $1 into $20 plus shipping. Here is the third and the final of the viewer sales today. This is a Weebles, and this actually brings up an interesting topic here. And it's got the furniture in there. It's the Western, I don't know what you want to call it, barn house. I don't know what it is. And I hadn't seen Weebles in forever. And I saw that, and it had the Weebles inside, and those go for some good money, but these go okay too, and they're worth picking up. And it sold for $25.16 plus shipping, so it did have a send offer of some sort, because I don't list things for $25.16. And it went to Mandy. Thank you very much. I found the Hasbro Schoolhouse a few weeks ago at a garage sale. Nostalgic moment for me. Gave it to my granddaughter, and she just loves it. So now she'll have the ranch to go with it. I'm not a reseller. I just enjoy watching your channels. God bless you and your family. And it's your second purchase. So that's something I want to thank you, Mandy. I appreciate it. I hope your granddaughter does enjoy that. So this was something I want to talk about too. You know, a lot of YouTubers and social media people get, you know, quite a bit of flack for exposing secrets and whatever, I guess. So part of it, and people don't realize it, and is I get message, I got this one on the last show too. Bringing new people into a marketplace, making their first purchase, getting used to it. It happens on Whatnot as well, of course. Probably more so now than eBay, but it definitely happens on eBay. I see it all the time. First-time buyers. So, at any rate, this is a cool little item. I hope you enjoy it, but like I said, it brings up that topic. And expanding that marketplace of more buyers. Sometimes people don't know what they want until they see it for the first time. Happens to me all the time. Something that triggers a memory. It's like, oh, that thing is cool. I'd love to see it. I'd love to have it. And I think that's part of it as well. So there are certain markets that get hurt when, like the lawn chair thing or the Afghan thing, I could tell when resellers discover something for the first time, it's like, oh man, and everybody tries to buy it and sell it. But then the flip side of the coin is it does bring people that, I know it's surprising, but some people don't realize how much stuff can be bought on places like eBay that they might really enjoy, and they don't go to garage sales, they don't go to thrift stores, and they enjoy the content, the treasure hunt of it. So thank you. I appreciate it. I guess we didn't talk about the other Tacky. I've got one more sale. The other Tacky thing, but let me show you this really quick from Brad. Brad, thank you. This is what you're going to do, brother. He was very gracious to send me this. How cool is that? Matchbox. I love it. I'll find a spot for that inside for sure. So thank you, Brad. I really do appreciate that. And this sale back here. Man, this is something, you know, unless they're dirt cheap, 50 cents or something, I really don't buy. The Rudolphs just aren't terribly good. Especially the talking ones are a little heavier. You can't even get them out. Well, it used to be first class, but under 16 ounces and stuff. So, but this one sold. It outlasted Christmas, though. I think it's been listed for quite a while. Dandy. And that one sold just for $9 plus shipping. All right, the other Tacky thing here. So the first one was, you know, should you talk about how much you bought something for when you're selling it? Well, maybe not if you're talking to people that are, you know, just buyers out there, but I'm talking to mostly resellers in here. Anyway, the other thing was about the wad of cash at a garage sale. So I've had a lot of people, more than ever. It's because I've been actually having more singles out there at garage sales. I find I'm trying to get to the next sale. I'm trying to look and go and look and go and look and go. Because, you know, timing is everything, right? If you're, you know, right behind that guy in front of you that just bought a bunch of stuff, you know, you just lost out on it. So I usually, what I do, and I didn't always do this, but I do it now, is I'll carry in my right-hand pocket a ton of $1 bills. And occasionally there'll be a 5 in there. So sometimes I carry the 5s in my left pocket and I carry the 20s and above. I might carry a couple $100 bills or something in case you come across a big buy. I also carry a check in my wallet. I know I'm old, but I keep one just in case I don't have enough money and somebody's willing to take it. So, or doesn't do Venmo or whatever. So I have been getting tons of flack lately, especially on Facebook, for pulling out the wad of dollar bills. And I just want to get your opinion out there. Is it tacky to have a wad? People think, you know, oh, it's, you know, you're bragging or whatever. Maybe it is tacky to some people. I just don't view it that way. I think it is a courtesy in a lot of ways to have the exact change or to have a bunch of singles to quickly pay somebody so they don't have to run and get change. They can deal with the next customer. And I suppose I could maybe put one, you know, make it a little smaller, but I like doing it that way. It's easier for me, and I think people appreciate it, but I want to get your opinion below what you think. While I was in here making a mess. So you making a mess, eating your treat, and making crumbles all over the place. All right, Reagan has one sale today.
Teresa got a gray shirt?
Yep, gray trash, or no, gray, what am I talking about? Gray Commonwealth Pickers.
Pickers, yes.
I like that pink shirt on you.
Thank
Reagan's
you.
13 years old, y'all. She's grown up. It makes me sad happy. I wish this one would grow up, stop acting like a puppy.
See, but I am a puppy.
You don't have your clipboard, but you can still say it.
Bye, and don't forget to get your sticker at CommonwealthPicker.com.
All right, y'all. We got Turner, who's in a hurry to get to practice, and Sophie, who's never in a hurry for anything. He's got a joke, some little Commonwealth comedy. What do you got?
What is brown that has a head and a tail, but no legs?
I don't know what.
A penny.
I love it. Now you're going to get $1 too.
Save $1 to spend and $1 to donate. Bye.
Hey, I was doing some work out here in the other shed. Sophie came with me over here. And I just want, well, I want to say goodbye, but I also want to mention something and get your thoughts on this as well. So we just had an unexpected expense. My wife's car, well, the transmission went out on it. And it's going to be a hefty repair. And it got me thinking a little bit about reserve capital. And thank goodness we have plenty of reserve capital in order to take care of the repair. But when you're out there sourcing as well, when I talked about that check earlier, you know, having, even if you're not carrying it with you, having some way to capitalize on that big deal and having the cash reserves is really key. And I want to get some of you full-timers out there, some of you folks been doing it a long time, maybe your input on how you deal with that so you don't miss those opportunities out there when they come about where you can capitalize on them and make a little bit of money. So anyway, just want to say that, and wanted to say thank you as always for joining us, and I can't wait to see you next time.